Esoteric fam, welcome back to my channel. We talk about all things to heal, grow, and evolve. And this video, I want to do a fun video talking about like some anime shows that I've watched, and then within the hidden coding and the messages from them. I've watched anime since I was a kid. I've always loved their shows, but I always feel like certain anime shows always have like a hidden meaning, a deeper meaning than what they're actually showing you. And so I wanted to code some of my favorite shows. I can't do every single show. I can't do every single episode because we'll be here all day. But in this video, I'm just gonna name a few shows that I enjoy watching and decode some of the messages that I've gotten from these shows. Let me add this as well. Spoiler alert. There's gonna be a lot of spoilers. If you haven't watched any of these shows to the end, you may be spoiled. So I'm gonna go through certain parts of the show, certain parts of the anime. So if you haven't seen the whole thing, you may be spoiled. So you've been warned, spoiler alert. But if you don't mind the spoilers, or if you already watched it, just keep on watching. So the first anime I want to talk about is My Hero Academia. It talks about how your powers are genetic. Your spiritual gifts are genetic. It's within your DNA. And then in order for Midoriya to get his powers, to get his quirk from All Might, Midoriya had to eat a strand of All Might's hair. So this is a transferring of All Might's DNA to Midoriya. Midoriya had to eat a strand of All Might's hair in order to get those genetic codes, the quirks that All Might possesses. He had to transfer it through eating, through the motion of eating. And then I've learned this quote from Brother Panic. Shout out to Brother Panic. He said, if grass is eaten by antelope, then that grass could come back and reincarnate as that antelope. And then if that antelope is eaten by a zebra or a lion, same antelope can come back and reincarnate as that zebra. And then if a lion is, or if a zebra is to be eaten by a lion, that zebra can come back and reincarnate as that lion. I feel like the motion of eating, you're ingesting that DNA, you're fusing that genetic DNA, and you can come back as that thing you've eaten. This is called horizontal gene transfer. When you eat something, you become that being, that genetic coding. The next anime I want to talk about is Attack on Titan. This is one of my favorite all-time shows. If you haven't seen it, well, you're gonna be spoiled, but if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you watching the show. There's a lot of hidden codes, a lot of good messages, and overall it's a great show. I love the story and everything. But anyways, Attack on Titan talks about a lot of messages. The first one is kind of like what I mentioned about My Hero Academia, is that your powers are genetic, your spiritual gifts are genetic. I talked about this in my last video about healing the bloodline, how memories are stored in your DNA. This is why Eren was able to see memories of his father, memories of the past Titan. Titan shifters are able to tap into their past memories of their Titan ancestors. This is why Eren was able to see memories of his father in his life, and Eren was able to see the memories of the previous Titan, the founding Titan, Frida race. He was able to see those memories because of that Titan DNA, because the memories are stored within that DNA. And then also how in certain episodes, the Titans are able to transfer their consciousness to different areas of their body. There's a certain episode where Reiner was able to transfer his consciousness to a certain part of his body before they try to kill him. Consciousness was still there, they weren't able to kill him off completely. So they were able to transfer their consciousness through different parts of their body because of that spine, because of their spine, which is also known as the Kundalini energy. This whole thing with the spinal cord, the spine, the Titan serum, that's a very common thing you would notice in Attack on Titan. So even turning someone into a Titan, injecting that Titan serum, that Titan DNA into their spinal cord, and that's how they're able to transform into a pure Titan. Like I said in the first video for My Hero Academia, these these pure Titans, after they've had that Titan DNA injected into their spinal cord, once they eat a pure Titan, once they eat that spinal cord, then that DNA is transferred into them, and they become that Titan power, that Titan shifting power that they just eaten. Going back to the spinal cord and the spine, and then the Kundalini energy. So that's why when you see Titans transform, they start within the spine and then they grow outwards, because everything originates from that spine. That's the divine consciousness. So they grow outwards. They grow from their spinal cord outwards, not from the sky, not from the ground. They grow out within. They're able to do that because they've activated that Kundalini energy that's within their spine. And that's also how they're able to tap into that external space realm where Ymir exists. They call this the path. In Attack on Titan, where Ymir, which is the Finding Titan, and all of the other 9 Finding Titans and the Pure Titans, they're all connected as one. And this is, to me, is also known as the collective consciousness.
すべての道が交わる座標だと思う。
And this is also how Eren and Zeke was able to astral travel while they're in this path external space within a divine consciousness. So the path is a collective consciousness from where all Titans originate from. And this is where the place where Ymir, the Finding Titan, is able to build Titans, build them up into their form, are ready to transform into a Titan. So Zeke and Eren went back in time through astral traveling. The episode once Eren and Zeke touched hands, because Zeke is royal blood, they were able to transfer and go inside the path, the astral realm. And so Eren was showing Zeke his memories. And so what they did was Eren went back in time. They went back in time through his memories. We were right at the scene where Eren's dad was fighting with the Founding Titan. So it shows how Grisha was wanting to steal the Finding Titan from Frida. At first he was kind of fumbling. He was kind of going back and forth with his mind about, should I kill this person? Should I kill the children? Like, I don't want to kill the family. And then that's when Eren stepped in. So even though he was in the future, they were looking at this through his memories. But because they're astral traveling, they're in that path where time, it does not exist. Time is not linear, it's more in a spiral. So the past, present, and future all happen simultaneously. So this is why Eren was able to go back in past, and he was able to talk to Grisha. He was telling him to stand up, stand up. He was telling him to fight, stand up and fight. So he was whispering those subliminals to his dad Grisha, and then he was able to hear those through his subconsciousness. Even though that happened in the future, they went back to the past through his memory, but Eren was still able to alter the time sequence.
盾を落とす忘れたのか。何をしにここに来たのか。復権派の仲間に、ダイナに、クルーガーに進み続けるんだ。
With this collective consciousness, because the path where all Titans are connected, this is how Eren Kruger knew who Mikasa and Armin was, because of that connection. He knew who they were even though they haven't existed yet. They weren't even born at that time. But because, like I said earlier, the past, present, and future is not linear, they're all happening simultaneously. Because he was tapped into that consciousness through the spinal cord, the Kundalini energy, he was able to know, he just all of a sudden said, you have to protect Mikasa and Armin. And then Grisha was looking like, who are these people? And then Eren Kruger was like, I don't know. That was his subconsciousness telling him those things, because he's tapped into the divine collective consciousness.
みんなを救いたいなら使命を全うしろ。ミカサ？アルミン？誰のことだ？さあ、誰の記憶だろう。
So that's how you're able to gather information. That's how you're able to send memories to the future, or send things from the future to the past. That's how Eren was able to send his memories. On the last episode of Attack on Titan, Eren sent all of his memories back to his child self. And if you go back to the first episode, it shows kind of like a cut scenes and glimpses of everything that happens within Attack on Titan, but he sent those memories back to the past as his child. And then that's why Eren woke up crying, because he thought he had a bad dream, but those were memories of his future. Next show, I want to talk about RWBY. I know people won't consider RWBY an anime, but I really like this one particular scene that happened. I'm talking about season 5. Even though it's not technically considered an anime, I still want to include it in this video. So there's a scene. This is more like an Alice in Wonderland type of theme, like the whole group falls into. I feel like this season is more about reflection, finding yourself, knowing yourself, and coming back together as one. So this particular scene where John is like in this paper town place, and he's taking care of these like star-shaped origami papers with these like star origami paper-like things. They already completed their mission. They already completed their task on Earth. They already completed their purpose. They're ready to like die. They're ready to die and transcend and transcend into the next level of their lives. But John, which represents your ego, was preventing them from dying. It was preventing them from that transition of death and rebirth. So John represented the ego because he still had too many attachments to Earth. He still had too many bounds on Earth, who was preventing them from ascending into the next level of their lives. They were trying to explain to John like they need to transcend, like they need to evolve. That John wasn't having it. He was like, no, you're not going to leave. You're not going anywhere. If you leave, what does that become of me? What does that make me? What will be my own purpose? So he was allowing his ego to stop them from transcending. But I don't remember what happened after that, but all of a sudden they came like a whole flood of water, just broke through the town, and all the paper planes kind of jumped, all the paper origami kind of jumped into the water, and then eventually died. And then they came back and reincarnated as stone-shaped stars. So to me, this represents death and rebirth, and coming back with even more knowledge than he had in a previous life. So they were paper stars. They died and came back as stone. So they came back still with that knowledge of the paper stars. They still had their same knowledge of their tasks, their duties, and then in this lifetime, they're going to learn their experiences, learn their life experiences, gain even more knowledge. So when they reincarnate again, they evolve even further beyond that stone into something even stronger. And so I feel like this is just a cycle of rebirth and transition until eventually they gain enough knowledge, they learn enough life lessons until they reincarnate and keep going up the spiritual ladder eventually until they connect back with source, connect back to their self eventually, to the point where they eventually return back to source and become one with collective consciousness. And the last one I want to talk about is Jujutsu Kaisen. This one is kind of a short one. It's very similar to the one I talked about with My Hero Academia. This part is where after Itadori ate Sukuna's finger, eventually, because he ate that finger, he started having that horizontal gene transfer. Sukuna and Itadori's DNA started to merge together. That's how Sukuna was able to live within Itadori. And so the more fingers Itadori ate, the stronger Sukuna's power became, eventually to the point where Sukuna was able to take over Itadori's body and become himself through Itadori. So because their DNA was merged and fused as one, Itadori was able to use Sukuna's powers because of that DNA transfer, that merging happened. So yeah, that's a quick little video for me. I just wanted to share with you some messages that I've learned through watching anime shows and different shows as well. So if you like this video, let me know what you liked about it. Let me know if you know any other type of like messages or coding that you've discovered within like TV shows, animes, movies. Let me know all of that. Or if there's any other shows or like animes you want me to talk about with like hidden messages and codes, let me know. This of course is not all of the animes that have like hidden messages. There's tons of them. I just wanted to name a few to get things started. So yeah, let me know what you think of this video, yeah? Until next time, bye y'all.